Town nice. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Phone on silent, but the county talk loud. Hardin Local got the whole town down. From Radcliffe Rose to the E-Town Square. If it's going down, you'll hear it right here. Nate got the scoop when the business grow. Nate's business buzz, let the whole town know. New shop popping, yeah, the word gon' flow. Local grind strong, let the spotlight glow. Then J.O.B. with the weekend plans. Events in the county for the whole fam. Concerts, festivals, places to go. Circle that calendar so you don't miss the show. Stay in the know. Hardin County. Hardin Local. Let it ride. Head bopping local tonight. Hardin County on a vibe, from the news to the food to the city lights. Stay in the know. Hardin County. When the market move, housing update, let the data prove who's buying what and where things go. Smart move start when you stay in the know. Then the food talk hit when the mic get lit. Experience eater telling where to sit. New spot fire, yeah, we gotta go. Local plates hot, let the flavor show. Small town roots, but the vision big. Every local story with the gig. From the sports park lights to the downtown glow. Hardin Local on the mic, now the whole town knows. County on the vibe, from the news to the food to the city lights. Stay in the know, Hardin County. Hardin County. Feel on the vision since day one go. Built it from nothing, now the whole town know. Found it with the plan and the mic in hand. Hardin Local roots all across the land. Sky on the co-host with the guns out flex. Sleeveless every season, what you gonna expect? Keep it real, keep it loud, keep the people fed. If the shirt got sleeves, then it's left on red. From the mic to the street, from the town to the show. Hardin Local on the beat, yeah, the whole county know. Real stories, real folks, every voice in the flow. Hardin County stand up. Stay in the know. Hardin County. Hardin Local. Let it ride. Head bopping local tonight. Ooh, let us ride. Hardin County.
Welcome, everyone, to Hardin Local Weekly Podcast. I'm Phil Tull, and we're glad you're here with us today. We hope you enjoyed the new version of our theme song. Spent some good time on that. You like it, Scott?
Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah. You like your guns, you know?
Yeah, that was
interesting. Yeah, did
Quite
you?
fitting.
I realized me and you didn't have anything on there, so
Yes,
in the song, so I went ahead and added it. But
AI
anyway, Rachel
generated,
is on.
right?
Go ahead.
AI generated song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It
See?
went-
It's good.
Yeah.
Funny.
I went through 20 revisions to get all the right instruments added. You know, we did a banjo lead, saxophone. I have some harp in there. I got all sorts of different instruments. So that's pretty cool.
Good time to be alive.
Well, Rachel is off this week, everyone. So I'm leading the charge. And we've got a good show for you today. Jon O'Brien has your full Hardin County events and the guide for this week. And it is spring break, so there's a lot going on. We know you all are hanging out with your kids and doing a lot of fun things with them. We have a special guest joining us today, Kevin Parrett. Thank you for joining us, Kevin. And we'll be talking to him about Cuba here shortly. And he's been to Cuba 4 times, for those of y'all don't know. So since 2019, so that'll be real interesting to separate fact from fiction and what's going on over there on that island. Nate Bryan has your business buzz with some big moves happening in Elizabethtown. And Britton, is it just you? Is Michelle going to be there at all?
She will be sitting in shortly. She had a 1 o'clock dress pickup, so we're getting that wrapped up right now.
All right.
Well, yeah, it's that prom season, man.
Yeah, I get it. And so the experience here, they're going to do something a little different today. They're going to walk us through exactly how they do restaurant reviews, the full playbook. But first, let's bring everybody up on the screen. Hey, everyone. So, bear with me here. I haven't been primary host in a minute. So we've made quite a few changes. I had gotten used to the old way. The new way is different. So we got Scott Lucas, my co-host.
What's up,
Scott. Jon O'Brien does events and happenings. Good to see you, Jon. We got Nate Bryan, businessman, business news, business buzz. And Britton and Michelle McDowell, which are the experienced eaters. And I'm Phil Talt, the creator of Hardin Local, and your host for today. Let's check comments real quick. Yes, Britton put this comment out there, and we'd love to know, where is everyone watching from today? We realize you may be enjoying the beautiful weather out with your kids. If that's the case, that's fine. We will definitely have a edited version of this and all the segments here shortly after we get done. So before we get rolling, let's make sure everyone knows how to stay connected with us. Hardin Local is on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. If you listen to podcasts on any of those platforms, please follow us there. And if you have friends or family members who live locally, invite them as well. You can find all our links at hardinlocal.com. You can scan the barcode right over here. It'll take you right there. And you'll be able to find just every link that we discuss here, as long as I remember to put them up there. If there is a link that you can't find, just comment on the live stream, and we'll make sure to drop one in there for you. That's your one-stop shop for everything Hardin Local. And soon to be a brand new website too, which we're not going to talk about that now, but I'm excited about it. I almost got it done. Follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching right now on Facebook and you haven't followed us, go ahead and hit that follow button. Drop your comments and questions, events, or business tips in the chat. We love hearing from you, and we'll check them throughout the show. Share this stream with your friends, family, neighbors, anyone who loves Hardin County as much as we do. And if you've got shout outs, personal or business, drop them in the comments right now. We'll read them throughout the show and definitely try to follow up and get them all out by the end of the show. So hosts, start thinking about any shout outs you may have too. So before we get going, a couple other things. Wanted to wish a happy birthday to Judge Keith Tall, my father, who's also Judge Executive Hardin County. And his birthday was yesterday, so belated, but still, happy birthday. I went out to the farm yesterday and had a nice birthday dinner that my mother had cooked. It was very good. And then let's pay the bills real quick, y'all. Episode sponsor, you may see, is Riders Market in Upton, Kentucky. And today's episode is brought to you by Riders Market in Upton, Kentucky. They are at 102 College Street. And in a world where the grocery business and a lot of other retail businesses have sold out to corporate interest, Riders Market is one of those old school grocery stores that still cares about their customers. This is the kind of place where the staff proactively greets you and asks if you need help finding anything. And you know, guys, you know that impossible to find item on your wife's grocery list? You know, they'll definitely help you find it. I don't know how much time I've wasted trying to find, well, not wasted, let me rephrase, but back in the day looking for different things that I couldn't find. But this is one of those places where they know where everything is, that you just got to ask, or they'll probably ask you. Some of you might actually remember Riders Market as Riders Best Way. I think that it's been around for a long time, back in the 40s or 50s. They've got fresh fruit, eggs, meat, your favorite snacks, stacked deli sandwiches for lunch. Plus, they also have pickling, canning, and meat curing supplies. They're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Stop into Riders Market in Upton and be treated like an actual human. all while supporting a wonderful local business owned by people and our friends here in Hardin County. Give them a call at 270-369-8510. And also hit up hardinlocal.com and go to the link that says Follow Writers Market and go ahead and follow their Facebook page. Does anyone else have an announcement or anything else they want to share? Scott, John, Nate, or anything?
I didn't have it in mind. We did put it on Hardin Local for businesses, but sad news. Seago, Mr. Seago, he had a lot of names down in Glendale, but the original founders of the Whistle Stop has passed away. A lot of us have probably been to Whistle Stop once or twice in our lives. I grew up in Glendale, so went there several times. But great man, great restaurant. What he's done for, I mean, I don't think you could think of Glendale without mentioning Whistle Stop. So,
This is true. We hope he rests in peace. And it's always a sad thing when people move on, but at least he lived a life and provided a lot of us with delicious food.
he did do that.
We also have a comment here from Snow Dogs Food Truck saying they are in front of Lowe's as always. Come try our new Barkin' Bubblers and Snow Dogs Dirty Soda. Does anybody know what a Barkin' Bubbler is? Not
No.
sure.
I'll
What
have
is
to find the Facebook post.
They'll probably tell us if they're
Yeah.
watching right now. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Let us know what that
You
is.
drink that if you start chasing cars.
That's a good question.
I've never
So,
had.
all right.
I've never had a barking bubbler, but I have had one of their championship hot dogs before.
I gotcha.
Nice.
All right. Icebreaker time. With the kids out on spring break, this one should bring back some memories. What's your favorite thing about spring break growing up? And being out of school is not. That's an answer that you can't use because everybody knows that.
Oh man, come on, man. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, I'll hop in and go first on this one. I grew up in Western Kentucky down on Kentucky Lake, and so spring break for us usually meant the first swim in the lake of the year. It always worked out to where either accidentally where somebody would be fishing or we'd be playing basketball. The court we all played on was by the lake. It was either accidentally somebody ended up in the lake, or if it was a pretty warm spring break, it was intentional that somebody ended up in the lake. But spring break was always the first swim of the year.
Kind of cold to swim today. Anybody going swimming?
No, but that's a good idea now. I love swimming.
Hey,
What about you?
You got the
Go
pool
ahead.
in the background, Scott.
Yeah, I know, right?
Can we go jump in?
We go to Solder Springs. I guess as a kid, just not being at home. You didn't have to be out. You had to be home stuck. Obviously, I played video games back in the day. So, probably late nights playing video games.
What about you, Nate?
We never, as much as I travel, people think I travel all the time. We never really went anywhere over spring break. So during spring break, I was fortunate to grow up on a farm in Glendale, and I had a decent basketball court. So we played basketball almost every day if the weather was good. Had friends over for video games. I grew up with Mario Kart, where we had to have the wired controllers and everybody crowd around the TV. Video game stuff, watching movies and TVs, and being able to go to Movie Palace at the time during the week and not have to wait till Friday or Saturday to go.
Or Blockbuster. That was when Blockbuster was around. So
I remember Blockbuster, Lou's Video, Video Vault.
Yep.
That gray hair is starting to show again, but I remember them all.
I know I remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
About the same age. What about you, John?
So I was lucky enough to have both my parents. They were in education, so we pretty much they were on vacation when we were on vacation. So we'd all go on vacation together. We'd go down to the beach. I remember cracking crab legs, all you can eat crab legs, and having a time with that. So it was nice to not have to be at home or playing around the house. We could actually go somewhere every time.
There you go.
Great. I see Michelle over there. Does she have any spring break memories?
Sorry guys, I was busy with prom dresses. It is the season. So, spring break memories. goodness. My family, when we were small, every summer we'd go as a family somewhere. Or, well, spring break, we did summer stuff, but we'd go someplace all together. And one year we went to Cape May, New Jersey. And it's just picturesque. All the Victorian buildings that line the whole beachfront. And we stayed in a really neat hotel that was literally, you looked out on the front porch and it was just ocean. And it was so picturesque and so beautiful. And so then for the rest of my life, anytime you see pictures of Cape May, it just looks like a postcard. So if you want to see something absolutely gorgeous that looks like old fashioned, just loveliness, look up Cape May, New Jersey and all the Victorian houses. That was something that I think was really, really neat. And I've never experienced that again anywhere else. So that was fantastic. To walk out the door and you're on the beach. It was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. It was a long drive to get there, but it was gorgeous.
I bet. I know, like, not when I was a kid, but when I had just graduated from, I think it was college, I spent some time in Rhode Island, and one of the springs I was out in Newport and in Rhode Island, which had a lot of those big houses and a lighthouse. And I just remember spending a nice spring there. And then when I was younger, my family, you know, we were all homeschooled, so we would do a lot of camping trips, Red River Gorge and places like that. So it was always fun.
And you know what? I think that's something that I hate to say teenagers nowadays don't get to experience so much that kind of stuff with their parents. My entire like junior high, maybe like from 4th grade through maybe 7th grade or so, my grandparents had moved from here to California, and we had a great big motorhome, and we drove from Kentucky to California and back 3 times each summer. And so we stopped, and it would take us like 2 weeks to get there. We'd spend like 5 days at my grandparents', and then we'd take 2 weeks to come back. And we would stop at every single national park, everything there was. So I have seen like literally almost everything there is to see across the country. And I think those trips and camping trips and special times with your family where you're together and you get to see amazing things, I think that's something that's really lacking in today's society. It's like parents don't have the time or the money to do that. And as a kid, sometimes you think, oh gosh, we got to do this again, you know, and you may not like it as a child while you're doing it, but adult you looks back at those experiences and it's absolutely incredible. I wish lots of people could experience that kind of time with their family on their vacations and their spring breaks, you know. So,
I agree.
I know we try to do things with our kids to have special times like that. And those are the things, of course, those are the memories that you make to remember and end up being the most important things when you didn't think that they were going to be important at the time that you were.
I remember one of my favorite trips was, I think we went to Big Mountain in Montana and went skiing, snowboarding, things like that. And that was pretty cool. That was not like a regular thing. We usually would just, you know, be on a budget and do camping. And I remember even thinking, like you said, like, you know, because I was a computer nerd guy, I'd just be like, oh, I wish I was at home. But looking back on it, I wish I'd enjoyed those trips more because they were fun when I think back on it. And anywho, Kevin, are you there or are you still working on your camera?
No, I'm here.
Okay. What about you? Spring break as a kid?
Well, that's one reason that started my travels off was because our parents always took us somewhere on spring break, and I just kind of continued that through adulthood. And now I go around the world instead of just in the U.S. So that's what led me to Cuba, actually.
All right. Well, we'll be talking to you soon about that. And Kevin, if your cameras still have an issue, you can leave it like that if that works better for you, the way you have it now. But whatever you want to do. We're going to go ahead and move on to events. Oh, there you go. Now we see you. Looks like you got it resolved, so that's great. You're on mute.
I'll just leave it off until I start.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, John. You ready? Let's do some events. John's going to run us through what's going on in Hardin County this week. Let me get your jingle going first.
Get that jingle.
Where you gotta be? Events all week in Hardin County. J.O.B. Where you gotta be? Come on, turn it up, tune it, Hardin County.
All right. We're coming off that Easter weekend and we got a lot going on for spring break. Make sure that you look at our links we have already in the page: Fort Knox MWR for Hardin County Public Library and Elizabethtown Tourism. They have their weekly stuff all in there. You can just click those links and check those out easily.
And they're
Let's
over on the
start
hardinlocal.com, so you go
over
there.
there at that
Yeah,
thing.
the
Yeah,
QR code, and you'll find those links.
yeah. Hit that. Today we got it's Tiki Tuesday and National Beer Day.
Beer day.
What's your all's favorite beer? You guys like any of y'all like beer at all?
I do.
I mean, I'm a
No
Yingling
beer, no
guy.
beer.
I always order
Yingling. All
Yingling.
right.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Yeah,
Oldest brewery in
Yingling.
America,
Yeah,
So,
not
I
a
get.
bad one. Not a bad one.
Yeah.
But yeah, out at Cosmic Golf, 10 a.m. So it started early. They got it going. When they hit the links, you could have a beer out there. National Beer Day and Tiki Tuesday, tropical drinks, beer specials today, and all day happy hour. All right, knock it out.
And I think Teddy's going to be doing that. What is that thing he's doing out there now? The Boombox Bingo at 6:30
Boombox
today.
Bingo. Nice.
Mhm.
Boombox Bingo. His birthday was on Friday. Hopefully he had a good one.
It looked like he did.
So-
I was there.
oh,
I
nice.
stopped by.
Nice. Good deal.
Yeah.
I was hanging with a little man on Friday. Wasn't able to make it out. Spring break paint party out at Outrageous Adventures with Rita from 1:30 to 3:30 tomorrow out in Glendale. All supplies are included. It's a great time. It's $35 per person. Thursday, we've got the Masters Watch Party at 10 a.m. out there at Cosmic Golf. The Masters is on, and Cosmic Golf is the place to watch it. Big screens, drink specials, and food. Perfect daytime hang during spring break. So take the kiddos out there too. You can let them kind of run around and do all the things while you watch the Masters. Also, if you're looking for something for the kids, the movie Turbo, it's going to be at the Historic State Theater from 11 till the end of the movie, and then 7 p.m. again. So you can do a lunch time matinee, or you can do an evening show. It's $1 admission, so that's really a great deal. Back to the throwback of the old movie Palace when they were $1 a movie. I don't think I've seen one that cheap in a long time. Friday, we've got some fun things going on. You got the Zach Alexander album release at New Style Records. I think this might be the first like in-store kind of like release that they're doing. It's at 6:30, so it's gonna be a live acoustic performance celebrating the Long Story Short. Free admission, so you don't have to pay anything. But also, if you want to get a hub cup from BBT or anywhere else downtown and kind of hang out and sip that, if that's your choice, that is something that they're cool with there at New Style. Dale Jones will be live at Saber and Quill. 6:30 is when the doors open. The show starts at 7:30. It's a $10 advance ticket or 15 at the door. So make sure that you do that if you like that comedy. Nate, you gonna make that? No? Do you know the guy? Do you know Dale Jones? No?
I haven't heard of him.
Never
Haven't
Have
heard of
you?
him either. But hopefully he's a funny fella and make everybody
I'm
laugh up
sure it
there.
is.
It's
They
also
usually don't have
Friday, which
people
makes it
out there.
harder for me.
Yeah, and it's on Fort Knox, which is
That wouldn't bother me too much. It's just working on Fridays. I work on weekdays like 3 to 3 to 12. So Fridays are usually
they don't usually
I
do
would
this. I
love
don't
to-
think. Yeah, sorry about that, Nate. They don't usually do this comedy there, so I bet you he's pretty good. Maybe what I'll do is I'll find one of his YouTube videos and post it
Yeah, that'll
later on
work.
after the show. You guys can see if you want to go.
Good deal. Also, BBT's got 2 out of 3 playing Friday night, 8:30. So that's a great show. Free admission to that. So come on in if you're of age and enjoy that show. On Saturday, we've got it packed. Loaves of Love. They do this every Saturday coming up here for a few Saturdays, 8:30 to 12 p.m. Weekly community outreach event hosted by the Mod Squad Teen Outreach Ministry. It's free. The E-Town Card Expo is going to be out at the Sportsplex from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sports cards, Pokemon, all those things, buy, sell, trade. They've got it all going on, and you don't have to pay to get in. Sometimes those things you got to pay to get in those expos before you can kind of partake. This one's
Right.
free. You can get in there and then check out all the stuff. Even if you just want to walk around and look at some stuff, take the kiddos around. It's a fun thing to do.
Just to add on that, I've seen some of the posts already. People bringing stuff or what they're going to have. There's going to be some stuff if you're looking for specialty cards or you're looking to trade something in because you think it's got value. You're going to see some neat, unique stuff that's really hard to find that you've probably scoured eBay and other places for that these people will have that other people won't. So it's worth going out there.
Yeah, that's true.
The Alpaca Spring Fling is out at the Hardin County Fairgrounds from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Alpacas, selfies, fun with the family. Spring break, it's a must do for the kids. Free admission, again, get some pictures with an alpaca. I don't think I've ever had pictures with a camel. That's, I guess, as close as an alpaca that I've been around, but that's not really like an alpaca at all. Llama, that's probably the closest to an alpaca I've been around.
Yeah, I've been emailing with Nancy, who I think's putting that event on, and it sounds like it's a pretty good event. She's been posting in our Facebook group, the Hardin Local Facebook group, about it. So stay tuned to there if you want to learn more details about that event.
Very nice. The fourth annual, and I like that they got it right. Racers Reunion, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. down at the Sonora Racing Reunion with a memorabilia, shared memories, free entry. So if you got pictures of old racing that you've done, optional lunch is $12 down there. So if you don't bring your own lunch, you can purchase one down there. There's a rabies clinic going on in Radcliffe, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is cash or check only. So no card is accepted. No Venmo, no Cash App, no what's all Zelle. Who uses Zelle? I've had like one person ask me to use Zelle, and I'm like, it's the oddest way to use money. Scott, you got?
Yeah, we use Zelle. It's just attached to your bank. If you have a bank account, it's.
I know, but here's the thing. I open up the Zelle account, my Zelle app, and it tells me go to your bank app.
Yeah.
So that's well. Why do I even have a Zelle app if you're telling me to go to my bank app? It's a weird
That changed
interaction,
it,
yeah, between that.
I don't use it just because my bank doesn't have it. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got one that does, but it's a weird. Like I said, what I don't know. Why have an app if you tell me to go to my bank?
I bank with PNC, so I log into PNC and I Zelle that way.
Same. Yep. That's it. Me too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just used to use it when they had the app, and then like they took the app away, and now it's confusing.
Yeah. Big birthday going on. This is big birthday week. Casey and Romy. We got a birthday bash here at Bourbon Barrel Tavern, 8:30 on Saturday. Come on out. Celebrate with us. Casey, Romy, and everybody here in town will be here because they love Casey and Romy. Again, free admission to that too. So it's gonna be a blast. The Decades Party out at Cosmic Golf is featuring Dylan West. He plays all around town, down at Impellizzeri's, out at Docks. Cosmic Golf will be where he's next. Dress like your favorite decade and enjoy the specials. TBD on that time he starts playing. So not sure what time he plays, but he'll be playing that night sometime. Which is your all's favorite decade you would dress like?
The 80s or 90s for me.
Okay.
Yeah. 80s.
Nice. I like the 80s.
Yeah.
South Hardin baseball and softball opening ceremony is going to be on Sunday, 3 to 6 p.m. at South Hardin. Opening ceremony with team recognition, a derby, vendors and food, free entry, kid fun zone with a $10 wristband. So you got to pay to get in that fun zone, but you can just let them roll after that. Last day before spring break's over, let them get all that energy out before going back to school.
We need an adult fun zone.
I mean, I feel like that's what is
that? Non-alcoholic adult fun zone. No alcohol, just bouncing around.
Yeah,
sounds dangerous.
I'm going to say no on that, Bob. I'm just going to say I'm going to say one word, or I'm just going to ask one question. If you've ever laid in bed and woke up injured, That's why you don't need to go to Fun Zone. If you've sneezed or been over to pick something up, that states why that's a bad idea. I'm just throwing that out there. I've got a little more on most of you, so I'll just say proceed with
I feel
caution.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. We've got a spring kids fun day from 3 to 5 at She & Co Salon here in Elizabethtown. Again, they just recently opened, 3 or 4 months ago, Nate? Is that about right? You can have the kids paint flower pots, gather seeds, great spring break wrap up. It's free. Also, canned food donations are encouraged, but you don't have to. But it's always nice to do that. And on Sunday, the last kind of thing that's rolling through is a triple feature poetry reading and all poetry open mic.
Interesting.
So no instruments this open mic. It's all poetry from 3 to 4, 3 to 6, 3:45 to 6 at Flywheel. It's going to have some featured poets, and also you can bring your own original works to hop up there and let everybody hear what you got going on.
Interesting. And y'all poets, y'all do that, John?
I've written some poetry. I had a couple poetry classes in college.
That is cool.
But
What a week. What a week.
I'm a
Let's,
poet. I didn't know it.
J.O.B. where you gotta be. Events all week in Hardin County. J.O.B. where you gotta be. Come on, turn it up, tune it, Hardin County.
What a week, John. Spring break is giving families no excuse to sit at home. Dollar movies at Historic State Theater, alpacas in Glendale, a card expo, which was reminding me of that one super rare card that got pulled in, when was that, last year in E-Town? That one-on-one card that sold for over $1 million at the auction. Are you froze, John? Or you just...
No, I'm good. It was the end of my song. I felt like I had to freeze frame,
I like
it just
it.
felt right. But
I
I
like
am going
it.
to have to hop up here for lunch. I will
right.
be watching you all from afar, though. Kind of
All
creepy,
right.
but yeah, I'll see y'all.
It is what it is. See you, John. Thanks. So get out there this weekend and enjoy it. John, thank you. We got a couple comments here. My question about the Snow Dogs, the Barkin' Bubbler, here is what that is. The choice of soda, one of 60 flavors, and your choice of creamers. Brand new item introduced today. I'll sit back and just listen now. Thank you for all y'all do. You are welcome, Snow Dogs. We even got Steven, who said Snow Dogs has some good lemonade. And I agree with that. They do have some good lemonade. Snow Dogs is also going to be at that South Hardin opening ceremony, so you can try them out there if you're going there. And then we also had Steven saying that Casey and Romy have a few open dates throughout the year. So if you're looking for a musical act, there's some dates right there where you could get Casey and Romy to come play at your events. Try to put this in it's in the comments, so you can read it all right. All right, so we're going to move on to our segment with Kevin Parrett. We're going to talk a little bit about Cuba. Get you up here in the center of the screen, Kevin. Cuba, we like the shirt. Looks good.
Thank you.
So we're going to try to move on through this interview. We're going to kind of take our time to have a little discussion about this. I think people will find it interesting. So any of the other hosts, feel free to jump in if you want to. Scott, if you don't have the agenda up, do you have it up? Because I have some stuff in there for you. So
Cool. Yep.
we'll go ahead and get started on this.
Cool.
All right. So this next segment is one I've been really looking forward to. Since I saw that Kevin had been in Cuba recently and just came back last month. He was there for 8 days. Kevin's been to Cuba 4 times now, most recently just last month. And he's here to give us a ground level look at what's actually happening on the island. There's a lot of stuff in the news right now about Cuba, blackouts, sanctions, immigration. And Kevin's going to help us separate fact from fiction. Kevin, welcome to Hardin Local Weekly.
Thank you all so much. I can't wait to discuss this today. It's going to be a great opportunity for us all to learn from each other.
Can you give us like a quick 15 seconds on just introduce yourself and all your just talk about why you travel, and you've been traveling a lot lately, I know.
Yeah, I travel every year. Last year alone, I went to 20 states and 12 countries. That was one year. That was an extreme year, but I do work at ECTC. I'm the chair of our Global Studies program. That's what leads to a lot of the international travel. So I do take students around the world. I've taken students to just over 40 countries around the world. I've been personally to 76, with a few more going to be added this year. And Cuba, of course, is included in that. I've been there. That's one of my countries 4 different times since 2019.
Wow. So Kevin, I understand when we talk, we'll get back to the AI, but I have a question. I know a lot of people may not realize this, but like for someone like me, if I wanted to go to Cuba, there's like a process to it, right? You just can't go there like a tourist.
It's actually very easy to do. You just need to know who to contact. So the first time I went was a little more difficult because I actually attended the University of Cienfuegos, Cuba, for a couple of weeks, and actually that's the only credit I've earned outside the country. I've got 4 different degrees here in the U.S., including 2 masters, but I do have that one continuing education requirement from Cuba, and it's in the University of Cienfuegos. So that was the first time I went in 2019, and I just found out when I went back this March that 2019 was the first year that internet was made available to the people.
Really?
So during those times, I had to go to what they call these central areas where they had free Wi-Fi, and you had to connect that way. But you only had you had these cards, and you could only get connected for 1 hour at a time. So that was very difficult then. 1 hour a day compared to what I'm used to. So that was the first time in 2019. But like I said, I found out that was the first year they even let their people have access to the internet. So once that's happened, though, it has opened up a lot of locals now can search things that they couldn't before. And even though they don't have US TV, there's a whole entire black market of people go to Miami, they download all the data and all the shows, they bring it back, and then they sell it illegally in Cuba. I know that's a little weird thing to bring up, but that's how they get their TV. That's how they find out about American shows.
Interesting. So that's
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, so it has to be pirated in a way.
It is, yeah, to get it because they don't allow that. And I did find out the gentleman that ran our house, and when we go, we don't stay in government-owned hotels. That's due to the OFAC, Office of Financial Assets and Control through the U.S. Treasury. I don't know if y'all remember about 10 years ago, Beyonce and Jay-Z went down to Cuba and they used their credit card, which was illegal. They couldn't use their credit card. That's how the credit card company had to alert the U.S. government. And that kind of brought up the whole thing about where Americans can't go to Cuba. You can. It's very easy to go. And we do through the OFAC. It's a legal way to go. We do it through it's called the support of the Cuban people. So when we go, we do not give money to any government-owned entities. We always stay at locally owned casas, which are ran by local Cubans. And we also eat at locally owned restaurants, not government-owned restaurants. So that's how you get there. And you just connect with a company that's in Cuba, and that's what I've done. It's called Calibri, and I can provide that contact information as well. But I went with Calibri the last 3 times. Now, the first time, again, I went with a university program. That was very difficult because I had to do a lot of my own. Now it's all digital. You have an e-visa. It just comes to your phone about 2 days before you leave, and it shows that you're there to support the Cuban people. So, again, the main goal, and you would think with the embargo, that would not be a way to go, but it is. So we're going to go help, pay things to Cuban people so they can earn an income, and also help them, through other ways, either donations. Like a lot of my group brought donations. They're really short on the medical supplies right now. I bought a whole big container of ibuprofen, aspirin, acetaminophen, things like that they don't really have access to now due to that embargo. Even the hospitals are getting a little bit low on things now. So anyway, we brought both money to support their restaurants and their casas that we stayed in, and also we brought donations.
Okay. That's interesting. So we kind of covered that whole first section with those 2 questions where you said you'd gone 4 times.
Yeah.
And it was pretty easy to get there. You said there's 13 legal ways for Americans to get there, and you guys use the support of the Cuban people. Is that the easiest way to get in?
It is. And also, if you have relatives there, that's another way.
Okay. All right. And now you can only fly into Havana, too, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
That's Havana, however you say it.
Yeah, because the first time I went, I actually flew into Santa Clara, which is near Cienfuegos, which is in the more central part of the country. Havana's in the western part.
Mhm.
But now you can only go to Havana, Cuba, and it's an international airport, but they only have like 10 gates.
Gotcha.
Wow.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to the next segment, which is like life on the ground, the reality. Okay, so you're there in Havana or wherever you did go after you got there. What hits you first? What's the reality of everyday life in Cuba that most Americans don't understand?
Well, I think every time, especially the first time I landed, but every time I go back, when I land, it's like you're going back in time. You see these old cars because they're still there from the trade embargo days from the 1950s. And they've kept these things running. I mean, they use them as taxis now, and they still use them as personal transport as well. But we all got to ride in those taxis and things like that. It's just so amazing that they've been so innovative that they keep repairing these things, and they're 70 years old. I mean, our cars nowadays, we're lucky if they last 10 or 15 years. But down there, they keep them going. The people, that's what they want. So it's definitely a slower pace of life. And I know a lot of the reports showed that, Cuba was in a blackout. The people are starving. And, that's like the second time in my life, just recently, that I've realized our media, left or right, is not telling us the truth. We really need to stop, just taking what they say as truthful, because they literally were saying just the reverse of what was going on in Cuba. So I think on one of my social media posts while I was in Cuba, I took what CNN and I took what Fox said, both maybe centrist or left compared to the right, and they said the same thing. They said Cuba's at a standstill. The people are starving. There's blackouts. And then I recorded a city street scene in Havana where everybody's moving, people are fed, they're eating, there's cars everywhere, there's buses. And I was just like, what is going on here? I was like, the US media is saying this. I'm here experiencing just the opposite. I'm not saying they're not hurting. They do have some issues with the blackouts, but a lot of them have implemented solar panels and other ways to support their operations. So it's actually kind of made them a little more ahead of us, solar panel wise or electric sun energy wise compared to the U.S. So I just think that everybody, please take what you hear with a grain of salt. There were so many people even trying to argue with me while I was down there. I was like, I'm here right now. I'm showing you live video. What else can I do?
Oh, it's AI generated. That's what it is.
What is it now?
It's AI generated. That's why they
Yeah.
don't believe it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it could be anything. So anyway, that was like the most, and the thing is that about Cuba, it's the Cuban people that make it so special, because I had a group of 13 that went with me. I was one of those 13. And it just really changes you when you go. It's not like you're going to Florida or Las Vegas or even to Europe. It's just a different country. It's only less than a 3 hour flight from Kentucky. We do a direct flight to Miami. It's a 2 hour flight. And then Miami to Havana is only like 38 minutes long. So again, just such a unique, vast difference, only being less than 45 minutes away on a flight.
And you said that I think that healthcare and education are free there, and
Yep.
they have one of the highest literacy rates and
Yeah,
longest life expectancies in America.
Yeah, their literacy rate is actually higher than ours. They're right at 99+%. And that was actually implemented by Castro. He wanted his people to be educated. So they are. And that's one thing I've noticed is that they all know how to read and write. They all that I met, they're very intelligent and they understand things. A lot of them understand things more than what we do because they've had to fight and be resourceful just to live.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And like me and you talked on the phone, I was kind of like, well, I guess, if you don't make that much money,
yeah,
and you take that slow life, I've been like in the Caribbean a lot. Then what are you gonna do? You're gonna want to learn to read more, because it's not like you have access to all these other forms of media that we do. You also said that the food there is like maybe they don't get as much food, but it's unprocessed, and they don't have as much fast food or chains. Everything's pretty much local. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, here's a unique fact. There are no fast food chains in Cuba whatsoever. Zero. There is one McDonald's, but guess where that's at?
Where?
Guantanamo Bay. That's what we control. There's one there with our fort, but we can't get into it. We can't go into that area when we're in Cuba. I've asked every time. We can't cross that border, and they can't go into Cuba the other way. So that's the only McDonald's is in our military base there that we have. Mm-hmm. But the rest of them are just mom and pop shops. And the good thing about the food there, they don't freeze it. It may be chilled for a bit, but literally you're eating food that was prepared just a day or two before.
Wow.
and there's no pesticides used because they can't get them. They don't even use fertilizers. It's all natural. The sugar there is actually better for you than here because it's not bleached or refined. So anyway, just a total day and night difference in the food. I mean, I ate so much food there. We ate 3 meals, big meals a day, and I lost weight. So that was good food. Plus, we were walking. I lost a couple of pounds in Cuba just because the food was so good and it wasn't high carb.
Right.
Now, on the flip side of that, I know we discussed about what most Cubans make, which isn't very much. Even doctors, you said, like only make what, $25 a month?
25 US a month, yes.
You said
How's
that's
that
one of their
work?
highest exports. Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
And see, a lot of people don't know this either. I didn't know until, of course, I went 4 different times over the last 7 years. One of the biggest things that Cuba exports is its doctors. So around the world, they're in countries throughout South America, throughout Asia, even the Middle East. So Cubans go, they let their doctors are trained so well that they send them to other countries. The other countries pay the government of Cuba much higher amount than that 25 a month. But the ones that do go abroad, they get paid more if they go abroad compared to if they stay in Cuba.
Interesting.
That is interesting. I was blown away when you told me that. For time purposes, we're going to move this all along.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate, do you have to leave it too? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to move us on a little quicker. And just because just because. So fact versus fiction, busting the myths. So this is the heart of it. Facts versus fiction. What's the biggest misconception Americans have about Cuba?
I think that the people are like really controlled and quiet and don't speak up. I mean, a lot of the ones that we saw are starting to talk about the regime more that they're under, that it's not working. It's been a good 60, 70 years. And really in the last decade, it's gotten a lot worse, for them on a daily basis. They still are living. They're still doing okay. But they're realizing now, it's the newer generations are realizing that what their government has told them for, since the 1960s or 50s, actually, is starting to erode, if that makes sense. So again, they're starting to realize that they need more investments, especially if they want the U.S. there. Most Cubans are 100% supportive of America. They loved us. They took care of us. They treated us well. Nobody said anything negative. They do like American people. It's just they always tell us the governments don't get along, but the people do.
All right. Hey, Nate, I didn't hear what you said. You were on mute. Do you have to leave it too? All right. Hey, do you mind, Kevin? Are you okay to stay a little bit longer? Can we pause this conversation? Let Nate do his business, and then we'll come back to you.
And real quick before we go, let me just show you real quick, and then I'll let Nate go. This is this is the typical bill in Cuba. It's $1,000, but the current exchange rate is $1 is 500 Cuban pesos. So this is only about $2 US, but that's their most common denomination. So it shows you things are very inexpensive there.
Wow.
And we'll talk more about that after Nate's done.
Cool.
All right.
Wow.
We'll be right back with you guys. You got you got some of it. And now we're going to let Nate do some business news real quick. Because we don't want to miss that, do we?
Nope.
Definitely not.
If business is buzzing in town, Nate already knows it's Nate's Biz Buzz.
Yeah. Nate's Business Buzz.
Yeah. All right, Nate, what do you got for us today?
All right. First thing, we broke it Tuesday night. I appreciate Phil doing the video for me. Cold Stone Creamery. Yes, it is the first one in Hardin County. People keep on confusing it with something that happened at the pavilion across from Cool Springs. We did not have a Cold Stone. We will now. Cold Stone has already moved in and started replacing Baskin Robbins. This is across from the hospital at Covers Manor, the very corner unit next to Green Bamboo. Baskin Robbins will be building a new one. They've already started. I posted some pictures this weekend. The new Baskin Robbins will be across from the new Kroger. But Cold Stone's coming in. They hope to be open before July 4th, which I think would be great. I've had Cold Stone a couple of times. I love it. Replacing one ice cream shop with another ice cream shop, especially across from the hospital, is brilliant because it's a comfort food. It's a place we always grew up with. And the fact that we get another chain in here is awesome.
I know I had some, I went and got some in from Louisville this weekend, some Cold Stone. It was delicious.
Yeah, you're closer than the rest of us. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. This guy. Anyway, Bluegrass Meats. If you know where that building's at, it's kind of near Sonic, Magnolia Bank, Roses, near that corner. Bluegrass Meats. Tommy Barney has some great food over there. He's one of the first people to do drive-through barbecue. They are moving downtown. They will be moving from East Dixie to the old Dairy Queen, old seafood. It was seafood before seafood moved over to Dixie. We'll give them more space. We'll give them more parking. I think they'll still have the drive-through too. They're shooting for this summer as well, and I think that'll be, as far as I know, that'll be the first time we've had barbecue. Well, it'll be the second time. Sunny Boys was down on the square, but it's been a while since we had barbecue downtown. So that'll be
it'd be nice. I love me some good barbecue.
I'm a huge barbecue fan. I think I've told people many times, and this is no offense to any of our local restaurants, because I know people know I support them. But my favorite meal ever is like, hey, if you're gonna die, this is the meal that you want, and it's the barbecue polite pig at Disney Springs. They are fantastic. I think it was the only Disney restaurant to win an award this year, and it's a quick service barbecue place. That's how good they are. So they'll be moving. More restaurant news. Wasabi, which has 2 fantastic locations. I've been to the one inside of Social on Main, Wasabi Bistro. I just had wasabi this weekend on Easter. I've had it on Easter and I had it on Christmas. Apparently, it's my new holiday place. But I love wasabi. We got 4 meals out of it for me and Courtney. They're expanding to Louisville. That's great that you've been able to kind of build a chain. Like we've seen Vibe grow. We've seen Poppy's Tacos grow. We've seen Juanito's grow. So it's been nice to see something small and expand their footprint. And I think people in Louisville will love it, and now Phil will be closer to it, so even better. It's apparently Louisville's a thing now. Bargain Brothers, ran by the Ruizes. They're stopping pallet sales due to the economy. Can't blame them. It's getting really expensive. Pallet liquidation has been a growing trend. Discounted bulk merchandise resold from major retailers. When a business that built itself on that model pulls back and cites the economy, it's a real-world indicator that consumer spending patterns are shifting, but the retail is still open. They still have plenty of stuff. You go on their website, you go follow the Reeses. They've got plenty of stuff. The retail's not changing. You can find some neat buys, and if you need more than one, they've got them. So usually, if they have it, they'll have a lot in stock, but it's just the pallets themselves. So business is still 100% open. They're just changing what they do. I am probably going to butcher how I say this. Total. Any guesses?
Totally.
Sure. I just have to worry about what it is. So, ran by Kristen, a certified naturopathic practitioner and certified auricular therapist. She offers professionally trained holistic therapeutic services focused on restoring balance and supporting overall well-being through natural, non-invasive modalities. They're now downtown. They were in Bardstown. If you know where they're right on the Dixie Strip. Brittany Page Hair Studio. They are upstairs. Parking and entrance are around back. The official location is 132 West Dixie Avenue, Suite 100. She just had a post about it. I put the post on my page. Hopefully we share that too. But they've getting more downtown stuff. I mean, downtown is J.O.B. knows. It's thriving. It's hopping. It's continuing to get more. You had Ever After that just opened. He talked about the record store that's been banging down there. You've got barbecue going down there. You've got a German restaurant going down there. We've got Volstead out Barstow that's coming. Riders has got stuff going on. You've got Nicely's. There's all sorts of stuff happening downtown. And plus, you got so many places. Like if you haven't been downtown in years, you need to get down there and see the changes.
You do. And I wanted to spell that out mainly for my transcription services after when I'm editing this. Tolle, Totem. Totem.
Yes, correct.
So it sounds like
T-O-T-U-M.
Oh, is it T-O-T-U-M?
Yes, I'm looking right at the Facebook post.
Okay.
Oh, oops. I guess we got it wrong in our notes. So it's Totem, Tolle, Totum.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And we'll have some stuff next week. More signage. I love signs. I mean, signs are good. Bright Electric is signed. We saw the huge, monstrous AdSense digital video board that just went over Duncan, which is, you can watch a movie on that thing. You can watch a movie on that thing for Bradford, I think. That thing is huge. Bright Dentistry put up a new sign. El Guadalajara just went up recently. So
wasn't there a new one out there at the Theater downtown? Did they put up a new
Oh
sign?
yeah, the Magnolia. It's West Bank. The Magnolia Room has replaced West Banco. I was eating lunch with a certain downtown someone who wishes to be anonymous. But we were having lunch and we both looked at that and go, "That wasn't there a couple of days ago." So that just changed. I know they think you make no more. I think it's probably 2-year sponsorship, probably, or 3 or 4.
I think so. And now it's Magnolia Bank instead of West Bank.
Banco. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I remember I had to go back and look up the pictures on Google. So who was this? Because I couldn't even remember. So it's not the
Yeah.
room, but it's good. It's a local bank that's sponsoring it. I think that shows support. So
Mhm.
and I know people have been there. I've been in there before. I've been there several times, especially during the summer festivals to stay in the air conditioning, use the bathroom.
Mhm.
People have had weddings there, reunions, all sorts of stuff.
So Nate Bryan, everybody, Cold Stone coming downtown to Ring Road. Well, not Ring Road,
Oh, sorry,
coming
East Dixie, across from the
East
hospital.
Dixie. Bluegrass Meats heading downtown. Wasabi going to Louisville, expanding to Louisville, and definite economic signal from Bargain Brothers, and new businesses arriving from Bardstown. Hardin County is staying busy, it sounds like. And I know from our conversations off camera that nothing's slowing down. Seems like it's just getting busier.
There's more stuff coming. I mean,
Good.
We know the Ball's got some stuff coming. Lincoln Center's got some stuff coming. There will be more developments. We know that the thing that just got announced over by First Christian, it's not slowing down. There's a lot more on the way. I've had businesses reach out to me, but I've been in touch with realtors and Stuart Sullivan's properties. Is that if you want a spot, we can find you a spot.
Yeah. And also, if you guys are business owners and would like to advertise with us and Nate, who has his own page now that's monetized, you can reach out to me or Nate. We're collabing on some of those advertising things. Like one of these is like even Riders Market and some of these other things we've been doing. So if you want us to help you blast your info out, reach out to either one of us, and we'll let you know how much it costs and all that sort of thing. So
And
Nate,
this
thank you.
this is Kevin. Real quick, I wanted to add what Nate said. Nate, you did such a great job on all these. I keep up to date just by listening to Hardin Local, based on what you do. I appreciate your work. Just want to remind everybody that when D's Butts left their location on East Dixie, that's where ABS Seafood is now, they actually are still on our campus, and they're only open from 10 to 2 for lunch, but they're mainly here for faculty, staff, and students. But I just ate a sandwich they had yesterday. It was a big, pulled pork sandwich, only $5. You can't beat that. You can't get that price anywhere else. And it's right here on campus. It's only open from 10 to 2. It's in our student center building, so it's real easy to get to in the backside. And they do have a sign at the end of University Drive showing that D's Butts is still here. They mainly focus now on their catering, but they do their lunch service here as well.
And I appreciate that, Kevin. You're right. David Pritchard and I are longtime friends. He's a lot better soccer player than I was. I just kind of passed him the ball. He thought I was pretty smart. But they helped us out on our first community dinner. Brenton was big part of our second one. Our first one was out there. And yeah, it's open to the public. People forget it's open to the public. You can go get $5 barbecue sandwich. You're not gonna get that many other places, and it's good.
And that's just at the student center there. And
Correct. The grill.
at the grill.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the campus.
Yeah,
that
there's
building.
plenty of parking. Just walk up the hill. Actually, there's some right next to the building too, and you just go upstairs. There's an elevator too.
Mhm. They do make a great sandwich. I know that is a great deal. So if you have any other business news, a new opening, a closure, a rumor worth tracking, drop it in our comments on this post or send us a private message or private message dates Facebook page, which you can find a link to that if you don't already know it on hardinlocal.com. Thank you, Nate. We know you got to get to work.
Yep, I gotta get out. See y'all
What's
later.
up, Nate?
See you, Nate.
Yeah. Nate's
Yeah.
Business Buzz.
Nate's
Yeah.
Hey, Brett, are you okay over there? Are you in a rush, or can we? Because I think we'll go back and finish up. I think we're
I'm just watching her work, man, and listening. That's all.
all right.
That's all there is to it.
So we'll finish up with Kevin, and then we'll do your thing. Let's get this back, Kevin. You back up there?
Yep.
Kevin said really interesting earlier. He's talking about what we're receiving in the media is not the reality. I had that just last month. I was in two of the busiest airports in the country, and I waited a combined 30 minutes for both of them. And Miami International was one of them. And that just I don't want to get on a political soapbox, but when you have a group that's in power that owns the media, that's kind of one of those un-American things that causes problems because it limits our access to unbiased or true information.
Yep.
And Britt, let me add to that. I just brought a group of honor students back from Baltimore. They had their national conference there. That morning, we left Sunday, March 29th, coming back. That morning, they were telling us to get to the airport 4 hours early, the media. Guess what? We did, just in case. When we got there, it was a 20-minute wait. And there were still camera people there. One of them packed up and left. I got pictures of that up on my social media. But then the other one was live, but there wasn't even a crowd. It was empty. I'm not kidding. Like the lines were empty.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't know where they're getting these scenes from. I don't know if they pack people in there. Something's not right. Something's not jiving correctly.
Sounds like clickbait.
Yeah.
Rage bait, clickbait, both sides do it. And that's why we wanted to have this conversation to kind of like talk about fact versus fiction, but also to remind people that right versus left, you might not be I don't think we're as far apart as a lot of people want people to think we are. We have way more in common as Americans than we do, as Democrats or Republicans.
Well, Phil, you and I, I think it's pretty, you and I are not, we're not raging opposites, but I mean, we're on different sides on a lot of issues, but I mean, we have way more in common than, and even the stuff that I would even say pretty, I don't want to say sharply disagree on, but we got more space on that. I mean, we're both reasonable on our expectations of things. And I think that we need to remember that more and more because that same tool that's being those same people controlling the information are the ones that are saying, hey, you guys need to, this side is evil and doing this damage. You need to hate them. And I mean, and sadly, a lot of people, because their literacy rate's not that well, they're not that well educated. They can't see through the manipulation. They just, that's why education is the enemy of control.
Yes, and that's kind of why we try to stay away from politics on Hardin Local, but this is more of like a global geopolitical, and I think it's important for us to talk about because these Cuban people are very good people from what Kevin's seen firsthand, and we need to understand those people. They live close to us, so let's get back into that facts versus fiction part of the discussion. I didn't want to rush it, that's why I went to Nate because I forgot he had to leave it too. So that's my bad. I hate interrupting, but you said that, so at the heart of it, what's the biggest misconception? And I know some of the key points that we discussed off camera were they're not anti-American, blackouts are exaggerated, and the embargo is just kind of a media thing. It's not really true. So maybe you can discuss those things.
Yeah, the embargo's been going on since the early 60s. I mean, Kennedy started it, and every president since then has continued it. And it's not really. I think the only U.S. president that's went to Cuba in our lifetimes was Obama, and he ate at the same restaurant we went to, which is a restaurant in downtown Havana called San Cristobal, and that was St. Christopher. So he went there to that that room. He was the only president that went. We ate there, and I think I told you this. Speaking of the price differences, we had like a full course meal, high-end appetizers, great entrees. I had Florentine fish, and then we had dessert plus drinks, all for about $7 to $9 US. So we had a full course meal based on what it costs to get a value meal here in America.
Wow.
The cost, but yeah, about the over exaggeration. The people aren't living in the dark there. That's definitely wrong. They're definitely resilient. And that's one thing about Cuban people. Like I said, even if you look at how they've repaired those vehicles that have been running on the roads for 70 years, they still have Edsels on the road. Edsels. We don't even see those here. So again, they have so many, they're so resilient, and they don't take no for an answer. They figure things out, and they're very genuine that way and intuitive. They just figure things, how to make things work. And when you're there, their number one goal while we were there, even during these, troubled times they're going through, they still wanted to make sure we had a great time. Now, we went through about a third of the country. Havana, went to Cienfuegos, also Trinidad, which is on the southern coast. Even throughout the gas and oil shortages, they made sure that we had everything we needed We had Wi-Fi. I mean, we had continual Wi-Fi. We had access to oil and gas, and they do prioritize though tourism for oil and gas because that's bringing money directly into the country that they need. That's why they do prioritize that in the country. So misconceptions, I think those are pretty much the big ones. You know, be careful what we see, hear, and see on the media, left or right, doesn't matter. They're both telling an incorrect statements. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's the thing I've realized that I don't care. Like you said, I'm not bringing up politics here. Most of us are one or two ticks in the middle. But we need to realize we really need to start researching what we hear and read because a lot of it is not true. It's just simply false.
Mhm. Yeah, that was interesting. He also said something that was also pretty interesting to me was the internet is new but real because they only just got it right before COVID.
Yeah,
And they're more, more open to China now, I guess.
yeah.
Is this changing the younger generation's view there? You think?
Well, now, like the first year I went, not many people were on it, you know, because they didn't have a lot of like smartphones. But then once it became available in 19, and the second time I went was in 22, I noticed a huge jump in the number of people with phones, you know, that were on the internet.
Mhm.
And the same thing now, it was like so many people now, they can research things, they can search for things online that they could not see before. So again, that makes the Cuban people know what's going on is really between the governments, not between the people.
What about the political climate there? You said people don't really, do they talk about the government or is that still taboo publicly? Talk
They
about that for
they really don't talk about it. It was really strange because, you know, I've been to like China before. I've been to Beijing, which that to me that still felt like a communist city, even though they're socialist. But in Cuba, I don't get that vibe or that feeling. And what they've said is over time. And by the way, I don't know if anybody knew this. Here's a political comment based on that country. There are no statues. You never see any statues of Fidel Castro, and he ran that country for 60 years until he died. So also, I don't think a lot of people in the U.S. knew that there's not one single statue of him. There's one of Fidel Castro, but it's in a museum enclosed. That's it. He did not want his likeness to be promoted. He just wanted his ideas to be shared. So if you look at Raul, he was in power until he died about 10 years ago, 2016. And then his brother Raul took over, Raul Castro. And I wondered why didn't they have another Castro? Because now it's somebody else. But I actually was on top the third time I went to Cuba. I was on top of a restaurant, and our two Cuban tour guides said, "You know who that is?" I was like, "Who?" She goes, "That's Raul's son or Fidel's nephew. He was supposed to take over but didn't." So I think the country too wanted to get rid of the Castro name just to kind of open relations back up between the U.S. So that's a big sign, I think, that they are wanting to work with us because they didn't put another Castro in power, and that was the first time they didn't do that in about 70 years.
Well,
Oh, that's interesting.
oh, yeah.
So on the geopolitical side, the bigger picture, now here's where I thought it got interesting when we were talking from that geopolitical standpoint. You've been there under 3 different administrations, Trump, Biden, and Trump again.
Yep.
Has it even mattered who was in office?
Not really. It's still just as easy to get there. The only thing that's changed is what we're allowing into Cuba. I mean, there's always been an embargo. People think this is something new. They've been dealing with this since 61, 62 after the Cuban Missile Crisis. So this is nothing new. It's just getting harder for them to live and harder. They're not taking what their government's telling them now as fact. They're starting to research on their own. Yeah.
And you said that you think that the Cuban people would be open to working more closely with America. Can you talk about that a little bit more? What you meant by that?
They're 100% in favor of Americans. I mean, a lot of them have migrated to America. I mean, there's millions in South Florida, and I don't know if y'all seen this, but there's over 50,000 Cubans in Jefferson County alone.
Really?
So, and that's actually the second state where Cubans come the most after Florida. It's Kentucky. So we do
That's
have a direct
awesome.
connection, and that's no joke. You can look it up right after this. Just search for that. But there's over 50,000 Cubans alone just in Jefferson County. And I know some of those personally. I mean, they told me, they said they want to go back to their home country more, but they don't want to go back and see the government, the way that it keeps everybody poor is pretty much what it does.
So what does
So anyway.
Kentucky
Yeah.
have?
Did you? Were you saying something, Scott? You
I was
kind
gonna
of
say,
cut
so
out.
I'm just curious. So they go from Florida to Kentucky. So those states in between, you know, what do they find about Kentucky so alluring or
I think I read there was an opening for some medical people here, and then once they come, you know, it's always better to go to a state where other people are at that you know. So then once that original group came here, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then there were job opportunities here. And I'll give you an example. The reason that a lot of them want to come to the U.S., the gentleman that ran our house, now remember, we stay in private casas, which are not run by the government. So they're privately owned, and they actually get some of the money. They have to give some to the government as well. But they were telling us that they make $17 US per month. And I know the ratio is one US dollar is 500 pesos, Cuban pesos, but you can't still buy much with that. They also get ration cards there, and the ration cards, like they get 4 eggs a month. There was one morning where one of the people in my group, she wanted an omelet, and she goes, and they said, how many eggs? And she said 4. And they told her that's what we get for every 2 weeks per person. And you're asking for it in one omelet, you know? So that put that in perspective for the lady ordering the omelet.
So there's still some real issues, sounds like.
Well,
and working closer with America could help those people. But in the meantime, I think there's another part to this that we talked about. So who is making inroads in Cuba if we aren't as Americans?
Well, I've seen it firsthand. So, you know, you got the world superpowers. Russia used to finance and help, you know, support Cuba. Of course, ever since they fell in 1990, when the USSR went away, they've kind of just left Cuba alone and not really sent much support or help to them. But now it's not Russia, it's China. So every time I've went, they're investing into road projects and things like that. Every time I go, I see more and more Chinese groups, you know, that are at facilities, at places. So I can already see that personally. And they've told us, they said they're investing a lot. And they also sell a lot of BYD cars there, which are electric. Actually, the gentleman that ran our house had a BYD electric vehicle. Now, remember, we're talking about a country that our U.S. media says has blackouts and they don't have power. But the EVs are growing so fast there now. And the person that even ran our house had an EV, but it was a Chinese-made BYD.
So China's trying to get in there.
Yep.
And so if we ignore them, then we're probably doing China a benefit.
Yeah, I really think I agree. We need to really work with Cuba and you know, secure that area. That's the largest island in the Caribbean. I mean, we need to secure that and at least have an ally there, not an enemy.
right.
How would you? What would you support as far? I know we talked about it on the phone, and I just threw the question out. Would you think it'd be okay, or would you support like America make, you know, in Cuba if they decided they wanted to become an American territory, kind of like, you know, some of those other islands?
I think that would definitely help the island. It would help the people. Also, what they're trying to do, they're trying to start a program now where mostly Cubans in Miami can start investing in Cuba itself. So
Gotcha.
allow Cubans, they're naturalized Cubans, you know, that's where they came from, that's where they were born. But they're going to start allowing them, if they're from Cuba, to invest the money they've earned in the States back into their home country.
Interesting. So Kevin, for someone watching right now who's thinking, I had no idea you could do this, what's your message? Like, because you said go, like if you want to visit Cuba, you need to go before, you know, the culture changes. I know that was something.
Yeah, I think right now the people are fantastic. And like I said, you can ask the other 12 that went with me on this last one. You know, I went with others before. But everybody that goes, it truly changes the way they think about life. Jeff Kennedy just did a show with me on Hardin County Educational TV about Cuba. So that's out there if you want to watch it. But, you know, it just really changes you. It makes you think in a better way. It makes you be more, I guess, conscientious of what's going on around the world and what the media is telling us. So, again, it just really opens your eyes and it really changes things. And plus, they make you have such a good time. I mean, that's the thing. When you're there, they are treating us like royalty.
That sounds like a good trip. I know I spent some time in the Caribbean, and I've always enjoyed that island time feel, you know, where nobody's in big of a rush.
Exactly.
And,
Yep.
so it's good to know, because I think a lot of people don't realize you can go to Cuba pretty easily to where, you know, than used to. So anyhow, we thank you. And we also would like you to provide us with some information. I know we had a couple people ask how can they help support Cubans?
Yeah.
You want to talk on that real quickly, and then you can provide me with some links, and I'll share that out later.
Yeah, what I'll do, the best way to do it is to send it with people that you know that are with groups that help Cuba. I'm connected to 2 or 3 of those groups where people that go from America to Cuba take the supplies with them directly, because the thing is, if you ship things, since the country is, a lot of people are in poverty, throughout the process, those shipments never get to their intended audience, which is unfortunate. So through their postal system down there, people get this out of the box, this out of the box. But if you send it through these groups, we actually take all of ours directly down through our luggage. And yeah, that seems like a hard way to do it, but it's the only effective way to do it. And one of the villages that we actually supported, a lot of people brought cash donations and also medicine and things. They actually bought a washer, a clothes washer, and now the community is using that. So they don't rely on clothes washers as much as we do. They actually air dry their clothes, so they don't need a dryer. But we saw the impact of people bringing those donations through those approved groups that get directly to. I literally saw it with my own eyes. All the donations that we brought went directly to the people, not to a group that you don't know what they did with it.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to send money so those people can get more food? Because I know you said like $18 a month.
Yeah.
There's probably several of our viewers that could probably do that monthly. If there was an easier way to get it, make sure that it actually funded real people get.
Yeah, if they just want to get in touch with me, I'll put them in touch with the company that I work with, and it is legit. I've seen it firsthand. They actually take the money and it goes to. They don't even skim off the top. They don't even do that at all. They're there to help the Cuban people, and they actually will give every dollar that you give goes directly to the Cuban people in the villages.
All right, Kevin. Well, this has been an incredible, eye-opening conversation, I think. And thank you so much for coming on to sharing with us.
Yeah.
If people want to learn more or maybe even go with you on one of your trips, how do they connect with you?
I'll put my contact info in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll make sure to share it.
Yeah. So
All
somebody
right.
wants to
Sounds
go,
good.
just get a passport, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's very easy to do. And Scott, you need to go. You need to go one time. I know you'd like it.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Heck yeah.
All of you. All of you actually need to go, but
I agree. I would love to go. So maybe we can make that happen sometime in the next year.
Yeah,
But we do thank you for joining us. Sorry we went long. That
That's
was
okay.
I messed up on the scheduling part. I didn't put enough time for each segment, but we thank you for being patient with us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're welcome to. We're gonna close out here in a minute, but you're welcome to drop off if you want to, and we will talk at you next time, Kev.
Yeah. We'll get Kevin on here again. We'll talk about AI. I know he's done travels with that, so that'd be a great topic.
That's for sure. So let's get down here. Let's skip around in my notes since we've skipped around in the show. So this week we were going to have a conversation with Britton, an experienced eater, about how they do their reviews. But we're going to table that discussion. Me and Britt were talking about it, and since we've already gone 20 minutes over, we will bring you that another time. But I still want to play Britt's experienced eater jingle just because I know he has some announcements to make.
That's a very soulful entrance music, and so for sure, the reason that we kind of came up, Phil and I were talking about coming up with how we do our reviews is I had somebody kind of message me this past week on TikTok, and they want to know why all my reviews are good, and so I wanted to share kind of how we do that, because generally I don't put bad reviews up because I don't want to hurt somebody's business or be very detrimental about it. But the other thing about it is that I'm going to brag and sound arrogant when I say this, but I'm a good picker. When you're picking where you go, there's some criteria. So I look forward to being able to share that with some folks to show you how we get to be able to do that. But I just want to real quick say, Phil and I were on the side chat there. Tonight there's 2 food truck events here in Hardin County. If you're wanting to know what to do for dinner, it's in the 270 food truck locator group. But they're going to be at Phillips Grove tonight, and then also at the Hardin County's Farmers Market. And I looked, and there's some championship trucks that are going to be in both locations. So if you get a chance to get out, Michelle and I are trying to plan dinner tonight. We were sitting here and we were kind of going back and forth. If we had enough time, I could maybe convince her to go to the farmers market location, because there's a couple of trucks that she's interested in. That one of them's that sweet treat place that Ladora's she's kind of excited about. But if you're looking for somewhere to go tonight in E-Town, or if you're out here in Radcliffe, go to Phillips Grove, which I think technically is Radcliffe. It is technically a Radcliffe address. Hit Phillips Grove up, or go down to the farmers market and support those guys that are out there. And it looks like the weather's going to be might be a little cool, but the weather's going to be pretty supportive of that as well.
All right. Does Michelle have any updates for us that she wants to share?
Well, it's the peak of prom season, and so I think she sold 2 dresses since we've been on the podcast of people that didn't have appointments and walked in. So
that's good.
So something that's absolutely crazy that I cannot believe that somebody actually did is the 7 local high schools, the 7 closest high schools to us, all have prom on the exact same night, which is April 25th.
It's either the 24th or the 25th.
Fort Knox is the only one on the 24th. Everybody else is on the 25th. So as we're getting down to the wire here, that gives us about 3 weeks. I just want people to know that we do still have a great selection of dresses in store off the rack. Come in, we can measure you, go through the full fitting. We can sell off the rack. No problem. And I do actually, if you come in this week, we have time to order you something from several different companies as well. So if you're getting down to the wire, you don't have a dress yet, or you ordered something offline and it came and it was not as advertised. I hear it every day. If you get in a pickle, come see us. We've got lots of great options for you still. Okay.
That's great. What about Derby? Do you guys?
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a great point. We have gotten in all of our Derby hats and fascinators, and we are currently getting in Derby dresses, dresses for Mother's Day, Derby events. You can bring a hat in if you have something you're matching to, or if you bring your dress in, we can match a hat. Whatever we can do to help you look beautiful for any of your Mother's Day or Derby events, we'd be happy to help you here at the Red Brick Cottage. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for the update.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you,
Before
guys. Over to my customer.
welcome.
Bye.
See ya. Well, before we wrap up, just wanted to go back over a few things. We got the shout out there. I also wanted to do a second shout out to my dad, Judge Tall. Say happy birthday again. But we've already covered and we're way over. So just make sure that you know how to stay connected with us. Scan that barcode in the top corner. Also, you can just go to hardinlocal.com if you want to. That's where we keep most of our links and everything. You can also check the comments on this post. Kevin has sent me his contact information. I'm not going to put them in the comments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on hardinlocal.com in a contact card so he doesn't get spammed out by the scrapers and bots. So you'll be able to find his contact information on hardinlocal.com on the links related to this. And don't forget, you'll be able to watch this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeart Music. Follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and make sure you're following us on Facebook or wherever you're watching us right now. Now, before you go, it's spring break, and Hardin County has something for everyone this week. Don't forget, on Thursday, there's Dollar Movies at Historic State Theater. They're showing Turbo at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. There's also this Saturday, the Alpaca Spring Fling at the Hardin County Fairgrounds in Glendale. Free admission. Alpacas, which are just fun to be around. Selfies and family fun. And Saturday, the E-Town Card Expo is going to be great for anybody that likes Pokemon cards, sports cards. It's at Sportsplex. It's free to get in, which is kind of rare. It's probably going to be a really great opportunity to get in there and trade or buy or sell and probably talk to other like-minded collectors. And on Sunday, the South Hardin Baseball and Softball opening ceremony starts at 3 p.m., which, our friends at Snow Dogs Food Trucks will be there, so you can get yourself a lemonade or one of their new drinks. You'll also be able to, check out those recognitions and the Kids Fun Zone that will cost $10, I think, for a wristband. And then Sunday, the Spring Kids Fun Day at She & Co., which is, I think, downtown. Kids can paint flower pots, gather seeds. It's free, and can donations are being encouraged. A huge shout out and thank you to Writers Market and Upton for sponsoring today's episode. You can find them at 102 College Street in Upton, and they're open every day of the week. Different hours on different days, but most of the days it's 8 to 8. Scott, Britton,
Yep.
It's been good to be here with you guys. Thank you all for bringing the energy. And Kevin, thanks for I know you're still listening there. Thanks for joining us and sharing with us.
Very insightful.
Yeah,
Very
we've had a
well.
great. Yeah, thank you, sir. And we really enjoyed that discussion on Cuba. And I usually will have these videos out pretty quick, but because we split that interview up, it may take me a bit longer to get the edits done correctly, since my AI doesn't understand. I had one segment in two different spots. And everyone watching, thank you for being part of Hardin Local Community. We're so grateful that you have spent time with us today. Rachel will be back next Tuesday. And until then, support local, stay connected, and enjoy everything happening. And have a great week, everyone. We're
Yeah.
going to let you listen to a minute for our Hardin Local soundtrack again before we
to
cut
each other.
away.
And be nice to each other.
It is. Be nice. Be kind, everybody.
Yeah.